it's really about doing something you love, and it's really got to be about that with any job. And I think unfortunately a lot of the jobs where you really love something, you're less likely to make a fortune. There are, the Bill Gates and the Steve Jobs and those guys, but who knows if they even really love their jobs. I'm Nick Rhodes from NickyDigital.com. I founded it about 9 years ago, and I do all sorts of event photography, and we throw special events and weekly parties and all sorts of fun stuff. When I first moved back to New York City, I was really shy. The last thing I wanted to do was sort of have any fame or notoriety. Like, that sort of all kind of happened by accident. And one of the biggest hurdles constantly with Nicky Digital is that there was no business plan, there was no foundation. It was all this thing where I went to a party one night and I had my camera with me and I took a photo, and somehow it got back to one of the promoters, which I didn't know existed. And they were like, "Hey, will you come out and take photos of our party? We'll give you 3 drink tickets." And I was like, that's an amazing deal. I'm gonna go to this party anyways. It's across the street from my house. I'm gonna get 3 drink tickets. And then all of a sudden I was booked every night of the week doing similar stuff. As far back as French Impressionists, they were painting, nightlife scenes. And then Andy Warhol did a tremendous amount of nightlife photography. Patrick McMullen. There have been people who've done it forever, but the idea of taking photos and instead of going home and sleeping, editing the photos and putting them online, at the time I started, I didn't know anyone else doing it. People always fight about whether Nikon or Canon are better, or whether the Sigma lens is worth saving $500 on, I think that in this day and age, and same thing with audio equipment, the difference between the high-end stuff is so close at this point that by getting something a little bit lesser, you're not going to notice a tremendous quality difference in the product, I think. I personally shoot Canon 16-35 2.8 as my primary lens in a nightlife situation, because I can, I have a little bit of zoom on it, but I can also be a foot from someone and get a decent photo. Something for me that I've always prided myself on is being part of the party and not a parasite on the party. So just like anything else, I think you just have to sort of put your mind to it and work really hard and get as close to the action as you can without being obnoxious. I think that's really like a very important step to being a good photographer, is knowing where the line is. And you can put your toes on the line, but I wouldn't cross the line. So it's really like gauging like how far your community will allow you to engage with the camera or without the camera, because there's a lot of trust involved. There are lots of promoters I look up to and I get to work with photographers. There are fine arts photographers and commercial photographers that I look up and work with. And the business side, there are people that I call up with business questions, and lawyers with lawyer questions, and like all sorts of people. So I wouldn't say I have one mentor, and I don't think that in this day and age it's easy to have one profession or one mentor. So I wish there was one person I could call up for everything. That would be great. But no, I don't currently. I'm accepting applications for mentors.